Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to Grade 10 Civics and Ethical Education. What you learn in civics will build upon your studies in this subject in Grade 9. You will deepen your understanding of democracy, and you will learn more about Ethiopia's state formation. Civics is the study of educating citizens about their rights and privileges. In our first unit, we will study democracy and building a democratic system. You will learn about human rights and the obligations of citizens. You will also learn about the importance of tolerance in democratic societies, and you will study Ethiopia's relationships with other nations. There is a lot of important and interesting material to study, students. Let us begin. In this lesson, we will focus on the main principles and values of a democratic system. We will also talk about how you can participate in the democratic process of your country. Democracy is a form of government in which the people exercise control over matters that affect their interest. In Grade 9, you learned about the difference between direct and indirect democracy. Students, can you recall the difference between these two forms of democracy? Write down a definition for direct and indirect democracy. Do your best to remember these definitions. Students, I will see you in a couple of minutes.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, everyone. In both cases of direct and indirect democracy, the people's input is essential to the government, but the government is run in different ways. Direct democracy is a form of government in which all citizens participate directly in the decision-making process. An example of direct democracy is the ancient Greek city-state system, in which the citizens would assemble to control the political processes. Indirect democracy, on the other hand, is a system of governance in which the people elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. Students, most democracies are indirect or representative democracies. Why do you think this is the case? Why would indirect democracies be more prevalent than direct democracies? Take a moment to think of your answer and then write it down.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, everyone. The more people there are, the more difficult it is for the direct democratic system to function. Therefore, indirect democracies are the most widely practiced forms of democracy throughout the world. Indirect democracy is also called representative democracy. Students, when you reach 18 years of age, you will have the right to vote in representatives to govern the country. These representatives will make political decisions and policies. Representative democracy is characterized by a number of principles and values. We are going to discuss 3 of them, including public participation, universal suffrage, and regular elections. Let us begin with public participation. Democracy means that you and other citizens of the country actively participate in the country's politics. This participation is not only possible in cities or towns like Addis Ababa or Dire Dawa. As you know, the majority of Ethiopia's people live in the countryside. No matter where you live, you have the right to participate actively in the democratic processes of the country. Public participation means that the citizens have the right and responsibility to make democracy work. If people do not participate, democracy will not work well. The democratic system depends upon the input of citizens. Students, what are some ways that you can participate publicly in democracy? Work with a partner to write down a list of ideas.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Good work, everyone. There are different forms of participation, including taking part in the election process by debating on issues and policies, participating in the administration of your kibele is another good idea. When you are of age, you can participate by voting. You can join a political party and become a representative in your community. Another idea is to keep yourself informed about political issues and participate in your school's council. Or you could participate in peaceful public demonstrations. These are all excellent ideas about public participation. One of the principles of democracy is universal suffrage. Universal suffrage means to have the right to vote without discrimination. In Ethiopia, you will have the right to vote as soon as you are 18 years old. You will have the right to be elected when you are 21 years old. Every Ethiopian has the right to vote and to take part in public affairs, regardless of color, race, ethnicity, sex, language, or religion. The third principle of democracy that we will discuss today is fair, free, and periodic elections. A fair election is conducted when parties in an election are treated equally. A free election is conducted when there is no threat, intimidation, or harassment of party candidates and their followers. Periodic elections means conducting elections regularly. In Ethiopia, elections are held every 5 years. Students, this was your first lesson in grade 10 civics. We have begun civics with a unit on democracy. In this lesson, we defined direct and indirect democratic systems, and we talked about 3 of the characteristic principles of representative democracies. These are widespread public participation, universal suffrage, and fair, free, periodic elections. In our next lesson, we will continue to discuss the principles and values of a democratic system. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.